Making perfect sausage rolls is easy. To make around 25 sausage rolls, you will need a mug, a sharp knife and a fork, 1 egg, a brush, a pack of 6 sausages, I suggest getting the highest percentage pork possible, a pack of puff pastry, don't waste time, just buy the pre-rolled stuff, greaseproof baking paper and a baking tray, and finally some flour. Plain flour will do just fine as we're only using it to cover our surface. Before we do anything else, preheat your fan oven to 180 degrees or gas mark 4. Then start out by covering your surface in flour. Next, unpack the puff pastry, grab a rolling pin, add some flour to the pastry and the pin, and then roll it out until it's around 40 cm by 40 cm. Remember, this needn't be exact. Now we're trying to make sausage rolls in 3 rows, so you'll use 2 sausages per row. To start this, score 2 guidelines on the pastry sheet with the fork, so that you can see 3 evenly spaced rows, like so. Next, unpack your sausages and separate them if they're joined. Take the first sausage and slice it lengthways with the knife to remove the skin. Spread out the sausage a little until you have a length that's half the width of your pastry. Then lay it out on the pastry, pressing it down so that it sticks a little. Do the same with your second sausage to cover the width of the first row. Next, crack the egg into a mug and whisk it with the fork. Use the brush to paint egg onto the pastry below the sausage meat. Use the knife to cut out the row of pastry from the main sheet. Then, fold top to bottom towards yourself over the sausage meat to close the pastry onto itself, pressing down with your thumbs to close it. Take the fork and crimp along the join, sealing it shut, and then use the knife to cut away the excess pastry to keep things nice and neat. Slice off your first sausage roll around 5 cm long. This should give you about 8 sausage rolls per row. Meanwhile, grab your greaseproof paper and place a sheet onto your baking tray. Before placing each roll onto the baking tray, make a couple of cuts into the top like so, to allow everything to rise properly in the oven. Place this first roll onto the baking tray and then set it aside. Repeat the process of cutting off the rest of the rolls in this row, cutting incisions into the top of each until you've completed the first row. Then grab the egg and brush again and cover the row that you've placed onto the baking tray entirely in egg. Now repeat these previous steps to make the next 2 rows that you have left. Cut the sausages, lay them out, paint with egg, fold, crimp, tidy, chop, slice the top, place on the tray, and paint with egg. With the oven preheated to 180, place the baking tray onto the middle shelf and set a timer for 20 minutes. Roughly halfway through, take the tray out and rotate it around 180 so that they cook evenly. Once 20 minutes has passed, check that they look golden brown as shown. Then remove and leave them to cool for 15 minutes. After this time, they should be easy to lift from the paper as shown. Place them onto a plate and prepare for a good time. Serve with sauces of your choosing and enjoy.